What's going on, folks? Another video about David Wilcock. I'm seeing a lot of retards that are so-called think they're awake, putting RIP David Wilcock posts up on social media, saying, "Oh, they took him out because he knew so much." Meanwhile, the idiot David Wilcock was talking to Archangel Michael, a demon in disguise, folks. And also, for the last 6 years, apparently pushing the QAnon narrative, telling people that POTUS is going to save us, Trump. You know what I mean? Like, come on, mate. How much did he get paid for being on the Ancient Aliens show, I wonder? Apparently he was £1.4 million to $5 million, $1.4 million to $5 million in debt. And not doing very well. I mean, this is what happens when you sell your soul, mate. When you sell your soul for shekels and push disinformation, lies and truth, do you think you're going to have a happy ending? So I'm going to read you this post from Cullen Smith. Again, I'm not a fan of Cullen Smith, but he knows about David Wilcock. So let's read this out for you. He says, "There you have it, you big-brained mastermind geniuses. If you thought what you saw in those videos was doing just fine, then it's no wonder your discernment and perception is so damaged and misguided. Maybe, just maybe, you might want to trust me a little more, since I'm almost always proven accurate over time. Apart from," I will just interject, "apart from the guy's a fucking globetard. So, not that accurate, hey Cullen?" A message from David Wilcock's family has been released following his suicide. It's posted below. I had a decent amount of contact with David over the years, not so much in the last 8 years though. I did know a fair amount about what David was going through over the past 8 years or so, which honestly leads me to believe he took his own life without foul play. He was a good-hearted guy and meant well. I will just interject there. So we know he was being tortured by voice-to-skull technology and probably taking orders from Archangel Michael. So I wouldn't say there was no foul play. That's a bit fucked up. But anyway, I'll carry on reading. He was a good-hearted guy and meant well, but he was losing the quality of his work and his discernment for a decade at least. It is why I instructed our marketing team to stop associating our content with our Wilcock interviews about 8 years ago. I think a lot of this was driven by stress and what he carried based on his life situation. I know people want to add him to the list of deceased scientists and researchers connected to UFOs, but to be honest, David was not onto anything that the elite would be concerned about leading up to his death. If anything, the later parts of his work actually kept people confused and waiting for something to change via the next prediction, something the elites would benefit from. Again, I don't feel David was malicious, I just believe he lacked discernment. It's a sad way to see a life end, and he did contribute some meaningful work alongside aspects of his work that I felt were destructive. Here are the relevant parts of the message from his family. David Wilcock took his own life on April 20, 2026. After a long struggle with depression and overwhelming financial debt, his family and chosen family hope this loss encourages more focused attention to mental health care access. David spent his life writing extensively about subjects he was deeply invested in. Some of David's most consistent messages concern the importance of focusing one's energies on service to others and the divinity of all human life. He cultivated a wide community around him based on these tenets. Beyond his public persona, he was a human navigating the same complexities and vulnerabilities that shape all our lives. His passing is a reminder of how important it is to meet one another with open minds and compassion in our hearts. The loss of a life can turn our focus to our shared humanity, whether we agree on life's unanswered questions or not. David's life will be remembered in a myriad of ways by many different people because of the far-reaching nature of his teachings and because he considered his audience a community. While he was known as a charismatic and engaging teacher to fans, those who were closest to him knew the depth of his untreated mental health struggles intimately. Many who knew him from afar have speculated that there is a cover-up involving his death, but we can assure you there was no foul play. Okay, well, his family are a bunch of fucking retards, clearly. And I will say there was foul play. If he was talking to Archangel Michael and receiving voice-to-skull technology, to say there was no foul play is just demented. Fucking idiots. I'll read some more posts about David Wilcock from Cullen Smith. This one says, what have I been telling you guys for a long time? I didn't know this much of his bullshit, but you see, I'm never making shit up or trying to be mean. It's just not right to be a fraud. I'm sorry about his death, but the disinfo, delusions and theories around his death coming from people who cooked them up while he was alive is disturbing. I've already read this one out, have I? I'll read it out again, I'm not sure if I have. So, his wife left him a few years back, if not for the public beating of her on YouTube, because he gave them millions to... So he had millions. So you're telling me he was a truther and he had millions? Shut the fuck up. He can't have been spreading much truth in order to accumulate millions of dollars, can he? Think about it, folks. You get millions when you work for Satan, right? This is Satan's realm, the demiurge. And you get rewarded when you're a deceiver, spreading disinfo, right? Wake up, morons. Obviously, I'm not talking to the people on my channel. I'm talking to the people that are putting up R.I.P. David Wilcock posts. I'll carry on reading here. So he gave his money to an aerospace company, blah, 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 blah. Ponzi scheme, investors, blah, blah, blah. David has done nothing on his live streams but ramble about incoherent nonsense mixed with complaints about his life. I've already read all this out on my other video. The guy was talking to animals, blah, blah, blah. He thought the animal control, blah, 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 blah. I've read all this. You can go and see my other video. He claimed to be the literal reincarnation of Edgar Casey. He claimed to be talking with Archangel Michael, who told him to bathe in his own urine. Well, there's nothing wrong with bathing in your own urine. I want to point that one out. And who evolved from the ancient Egyptian Ra. His archangel prophecies and ascension promises never came true, and recently he finally acknowledged that he wasn't actually channeling something and that ascension did not happen. In other words, the truth helped push him over the edge. That's on top of the Corey Good fake insider story. The deposition proved that Corey never went to space because he admitted it. There was no secret space program or blue chickens. Is there a secret space program? Super soldiers? I reckon there probably is, mate. Blue chickens. That's the blue avians, yeah? This obliterated a significant portion of David's credibility and ego. David was also taking very high doses of concentrated but legal substances. Blah, blah, blah. How do I know all this? Because I've been covering the guy. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So this is another post by Cullen Smith. The flat earthers and retards are coming out in full force again. Brace yourselves. I'm sorry to see horrific passing this way, but the truth is David was an utterly broken man. From all the public deception and lying about white hat, fat, super soldier, whistleblowers, alien tech labs, blue avians, Corey Goody, elevators to Mars, all flagrant Hollywood lies to steal your trust and money. These people are Hollywood broken souls and end up like that, sadly. It's sad to see, but true, broken soul and broken man. A fake fraud and a grifter and a deceiver and wandering lost Hollywood soul through and through, from the raw channeling beginnings to the Corey Good disinfo lies at the end. Deception this grand will soil your soul. Do not deny the truth. Police arriving for an armed man and self-deletion is not mysterious, it happens commonly. A man being divorced by his wife and health crisis will break a man's will to live. Don't deny it. Denialism is cope. It's sad because I can see any man being broken to this point. Blah 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 blah. But you get the gist, folks. All the fucking so-called awake people and truthers saying, oh, he's been taken out because he's a truther. You lot are fucked. You're fucked, mate. The truther community is riddled with fucktards, deceivers, QAnon morons, right? Archangel channelers, New Age fuckwits. Yeah? There you go. So, there's the video for you.